Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a week of controversy that we are seeing unfold with Jimmy Donaldson, aka MrBeast, and I'm sure his PR team is having a lot of fun this week going through all of the crazy things, and that is not to lighten anything that's occurred. We have misconduct in the form of sexual stuff, we have grooming allegations, we have fraud, faking videos, editing controversies, lottery accusations, and even past controversial videos, all of which seem to have exploded this week. And yes, some of that has to do with the Ava Chris Tyson stuff. We're not really going to talk about that in this video. In this video, though, we are going to be talking about the things that otherwise happen, like the fraud accusations, the faking videos, and all of that. And I have to preface it with this. Did anyone really think Jimmy wasn't faking some of his videos? You know, like, I mean, okay, to be fair, the accusations that are made about faking videos aren't really like faking videos. It's exaggeration, and quite frankly, it is stuff that Jimmy has talked about in his videos already. Like, if perfect example, you reference interviews he's done after the Squid Games and how they've talked about how they edited things in post to make it look better. You have to understand, people have to understand that this is it's like a reality show just on YouTube. That doesn't negate any of the things that he talked about that Dogpack talked about in these videos, Dogpack 404. That being said, these are videos for entertainment. I think anyone with a frontal cortex can acknowledge the fact that these videos are of course played up. That's the whole beauty of it. And that's, if anything, it goes back to one thing that is still true throughout all this. And I'm not trying to defend Jimmy here or, MrBeast or anything like that, but it just goes to show how good Jimmy and his crew are at making videos. Take that or leave it, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. They are very good at it. They have very good skill. And yes, this has altered some of that and definitely has put a stain on the MrBeast brand, especially when it comes to the Ava Chris Tyson stuff. We're not really focusing on that in this video. But the one thing that really gets me is the fraud stuff, because I genuinely didn't even know this stuff was happening, and I feel like a lot of people who are 20 plus and older probably didn't realize this was happening. And I'm not talking about the Feastables bars and how you could win money from all those. That is like a lottery, and that's existed for a while with even brands like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. But what really disgusted me wasn't the idea that he faked the videos. It wasn't the idea that there was anything else. It was the fact that he was pulling these lotteries, especially on those live streams where you had to pay, and they were trying to say that he was losing money, but literally, in order to qualify for these giveaways that they were doing on the live streams, you had to buy shirts. They sold I think it was like 50,000 shirts or something like that day when they did that one live stream that everyone's been talking about. That's absolutely crazy. And if you think for a second that they're not turning a profit, that's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And it's crazy because it worked. Because again, Jimmy and his crew are a master class really at manipulation, but really when it comes to cracking the YouTube code and algorithm. They know for a fact that everyone watching those live streams is a kid. And if there is anyone who's older than a kid, it is extremely few and far between. They knew this. There's no way that they didn't. So to see it all unfold and to see these videos of Jimmy saying, we're losing money by the minute. No, you're not. Like, that was the craziest thing to me. And it's also funny. And another thing that was pretty crazy to me with that as well was the guy who was reviewing the Feastables chocolate, and Jimmy just has just derangement syndrome where he's like, no, this is the best chocolate. Obviously, he's trying to sell his brand. It makes perfect sense, but just the way he goes at it is sociopathic. And same with the video of the guy who gets the pizza delivered and they give him money, and he's like, smile, now look shocked, now do all that, and the pizza guy's like, what? You know what I mean? That is one of those things that's also just as revealing. I think it's more of those things that is, obviously ruining of his brand. And again, not to talk about it too much, but the Ava Chris Tyson stuff just as much too, because in some way, shape, or form, Jimmy had an idea of what was going on, whether he was directly involved or not. He definitely knew, and he was guarding Ava Chris Tyson this whole time. Like, that in and of itself is sus. All of this other stuff is sus. It's just the idea of faking videos isn't necessarily something that I have a severe problem with. As a matter of fact, all the things that they came out and said were faked weren't anything crazy. The craziest of it is this new show that they're airing on Amazon Prime, and how that one individual, I think it's Rosanna Pansino, accused Jimmy and Mr. Beast's brand overall of editing out the top 3 finalists in favor of Logan Paul. That is pretty crazy if that's true. I mean, I feel like after all of this that's came out, there's no reason to believe it isn't true. But again, we are still awaiting a word from his team. And not that that really matters, because people lie with their words all the time. So whatever Jimmy says and whatever Mr. Beast's publications come out with, I mean, odds are it's not really going to change much. And I think they understand this. This is why they haven't really put out any formal acknowledgement at the time of me recording this video on July 31st at 7:30 p.m. I haven't seen anything, but I'd be interested to see the way that they position it. Not that it's going to make that much of a difference. I think the honest to God truth over all of this, though, is that even with these allegations and even with all of this that's going on, I don't think it's really going to hurt the brand. I mean, realistically speaking, what does MrBeast have to date? How many subscribers? More than I could physically fathom. So for those videos like Dogpack 404, at the time I last saw it, it had 3 million views-ish. MrBeast, at this very moment, he has 307 million subscribers. That's not even putting a dent in his subscriber count. And I know it doesn't necessarily matter, but let's do the calculations here if I do them right. I'm not going to do whatever. It's a small percentage. I was going to do the actual percentage number. That being said, the number of people that are going to be impacted by this is significantly smaller than Jimmy's brand overall. So it may be the case that they just throw this under the rug, they don't address it, and they focus on the Chris Tyson stuff. That may be the case. Time will tell, but I do find it peculiar that they haven't come out and addressed this so far. And look, for those of you who are like, why does this matter, blah, 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 all that stuff, it's just interesting to talk about, because for years and years on end, people were saying Jimmy's videos were faked, Jimmy was a fraudster, all of this stuff, MrBeast is, a sus brand and things like that. And I think these videos have definitely demonstrated that there is some truth to that. That being said, all of the faking stuff, other than maybe Rosanna Pansino's thing with the creator game, stuff like that, other than that, I don't think too much is there to actually ruin it for me. I'm not the world's biggest MrBeast fan, but I do find the videos entertaining, and whether they're fake or not, I still enjoy them, and you have to commend their team for making videos that are good. I'm not trying to defend them and all of that stuff, but it doesn't change the fact that they are phenomenally skilled at making videos on YouTube and mastering the YouTube algorithm. You could still feel a certain way about that and still have a positive impact, or leave a positive impact on the world of YouTube while acknowledging that. That's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I want to know your thoughts though down there. Do you think these allegations are as bad as they are? I'm not talking about the Ava Chris Tyson thing, but do you think these fraud allegations and all of that stuff are as bad as people are claiming they are? Do you think they're less? What do you think about the whole ordeal? I'd love to hear from you down there. Subscribe if you haven't already, and until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.